What up, everyone? Big Kev back in the building. Today we've got how Messi won the World Cup final by checking his shoulder. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Let's check it out.
His head is always like this. He's always moving.
Messi is known mostly for what he's able to do with his feet, but it's something that he does with his head that's equally important. Scanning is a skill performed by almost all footballers. It's when a player temporarily looks away from the ball to take in extra information that can help them once they receive it. Now, when we measure scanning, we look at something called scan rate. This is how many times a player scans in the 10 seconds before they receive the ball. Studies have shown that the higher the scan rate, the more likely you are to make a successful forward pass.
Yeah, wow, that's something I never even considered before, but once you hear it, it makes perfect sense. I mean, obviously, the more you look around the field and see where the other players are positioned, the better you can time your passes and your attack.
It's no surprising then that Messi has one of the highest rates in the world. Messi scans an average of 5 times in the 10 seconds before receiving the ball. The average Premier League forward does this just 2.8 times.
Yeah, shocking that Messi is among the top in another statistical area. Yeah, it's no shock that he scans more than the other players in his league. Just watching the way that he moves when he gets the ball, all those, slick passes that he's able to make and find other players in stride. Of course, he does it better than everyone else. I mean, that's probably a good reason why, he has an edge on so many players because he's able to process that information faster than other guys.
Making Messi almost twice as good. In the World Cup final versus France, Messi scanned the field an unbelievable 676 times.
Oh my God.
90% of his forward passes successful. But scanning isn't
That seems like a lot, but I don't have any other stats to back that up against.
just about looking around as much as possible. There's a very precise timing to it that players like Messi have also mastered. Scan at the wrong time, such as when the ball is being kicked, and you could end up missing the flight of the ball. If we look at Messi
It definitely seems like there's an art form to it.
His timing in this clip, we see how he does it to perfection. The ball is moving with its direction set, so he scans. But as soon as it's touched, his eyes are on it to monitor its change in direction. In between touches, he scans again. And he continues to do this right up until the very moment he receives the ball. Another aspect
That's a cool breakdown of it to kind of see like exactly when he does and where. I mean, and he kind of goes the scope of the whole field after each pass. He kind of like checks out a different area to see where everyone's at.
of scanning that Messi has perfected is something called the critical scan. This is the last scan a player makes before receiving the ball, usually as it's travelling towards them. It's a vital skill as it provides you with last-minute information about what to expect when you turn. To take your eyes off the ball as it's moving towards you is no easy task. But for Messi, it's no problem. Throughout the entire game, Messi only failed to make 3 forward passes. All of these situations happened when he didn't make a critical scan.
Oh, that's crazy. So the only times he wasn't successful was when he didn't make that last scan. I mean, it kind of shows you the importance of it then.
If we take a look at this example, Messi receives the ball in a great area, but fails to see the run of his teammate behind him. He ends up choosing the wrong option and gives the ball away in a dangerous area.
I like how they show both the positive and the negative examples.
You'll all remember Messi's goal in extra time to put Argentina 3-2 up in the final, but you probably didn't see the incredible awareness that led to it. In the 10 seconds before scoring, Messi scans an incredible 7 times to assess his surroundings. What's even more incredible are his reaction times compared to other players. If you look at Upamecano's gaze, you'll see that it's always a few tenths of a second behind Messi's. It's not a lot, but in a game of football, margins matter.
Yeah, I mean when you're going against the other elite athletes in your sport, I mean it's just comes down to small things like that that make all the difference on who wins and who loses. So I mean, not only does the amount of times you scan matter, but it's also how quickly you're able to do it. You can train that, I'm sure, but then I'm sure there's also some people just who naturally can take in that information faster than others, and not only take it in but process it and then form an attack plan off of that information. And that's kind of you can train that. That's also a bit of a gift that some people have that some people just aren't able to replicate. And obviously, Messi's able to do it better than most, which is why he's, considered the greatest of all time.
This is all it takes to gain a slight edge over your opponent to score. Messi has been scanning throughout his entire career, using this key skill to aid his performance on the field, scoring countless, priceless goals along the way. Like many top players, it's clear that this is a skill that's been ingrained in Messi from a young age. Here's a clip, for example, of a young Leo scanning before receiving a throw-in. Fast forward some years later, and here's a clip of Messi doing it again, this time for Barcelona. From a set piece on the side of the field, he constantly checks his shoulder to find the space, before bursting into it and firing a shot off the... And that's exactly what we specialize in here at Be Your Best, with our VR technology helping thousands of players around the world to become calmer on the ball. Be Your Best is designed to improve your cognitive performance, primarily through training your scanning, but you'll also be working on other skills during the training, such as...
It's wild to think how far technology has come over the last few years. To be able to train these skills virtually is pretty nuts.
Your decision making and awareness. Now, we take scenarios from real-life pro games and recreate them in VR for you to experience and train with, working on your scan rate, scan timing, and critical scans as you work to become a better player. Our technology has been used by some big...
I could definitely see more clubs and more not only pro clubs, but youth clubs, implementing this type of technology in the future. I mean, being able to train these little things virtually over and over and over again can't help but improve your game. And especially, I'm sure they not only can help you train, but they can also probably track, your eye movements and kind of see how much you're improving.
Names including Arsenal's Martin Odegaard, and a recent scientific study on a top youth international team showed that just 9 weeks of training resulted in a 28% improvement in scan rate. Now, click the link in the description or go to beyourbest.com to check it out. Who would have thought that the subtle skill of turning your head would hold the power to completely transform your game? Thanks for watching.
I mean, I never really even took into account scanning and what kind of importance it had on the sport and whole. It makes perfect sense. Of course, you're trying to always look around and get as much information as possible. So you hear it and see it pointed out and broken down. You don't realize just how important it really is. I mean, this was a great video. I really like these unusual breakdowns of things that you may not think are necessarily important, but are actually vital to the game. So yeah, this was a good one. Until next time, have a good one.